Charlie! Hey, Charlie, wake up! Yeah, Charlie, you silly sleepyhead, wake up!
Oh God, you guys. This had better be pretty freaking important. Is the meadow on fire?
No, Charlie. We found a map to Candy Mountain.
Let's go back to basics. The most important thing to remember as we're talking about these 10 dimensions is that they're spatial dimensions. Some people get confused by that word, spatial, because they think it's intended to only apply to the third dimension, the length, width, and depth of the space we see around us. In fact, some physicists do prefer to use the term space-like when talking about the extra dimensions. No question, when you take a three-dimensional space and add an additional right angle to it, you are entering a realm which is difficult for us to picture. And it certainly behaves in ways that are beyond the limitations of 3D space.
Yeah, I feel it in my soul, I can't keep still. Seeing other worlds, wondering if what I see is real. Yeah, got me in the zone, mind blown, like I'm taking one to the fucking dome. Here we go, yeah. I don't even know what this is, but it's feeling like the motherfucking shit. Yeah, everything around me hella lit. Welcome to the motherfucking trip.
The secret of how everything works. This circle, this shape in here, and the corners and stuff, is what I want you to be experts on. We have three elements. We have the infinity symbol, the lazy 8. We have the green element, which is the pyramid, let's say. And we have the gold right here, which is the emanation coming out of the center. Okay, which is the primal point of unity, is zero, where, and when. And why do I say, well, the bounded infinity is what this is. Numbers are real. Because I'm about to show you, when we do a computer program, the programmers leave us little messages, if we are lucky enough to find them. God left us big messages. Okay? These are what are called his signs and attributes. Okay? Everyone still with me?
One could completely look at this as just a critique of mass society, of kind of comfortable bourgeois mentality, of making oneself a number. What he's trying to say is, no, you need to relate yourself to these concepts, whether it be relating yourself to God or just kind of reflecting upon your own choices and how you're going to comport, and again, the self relating to itself, how you're going to comport your interiority with your exteriority.
Things that nobody at all would understand. You have to have seen your shadow self. You have to have gone through the horrifying things of, wait a minute, who I thought I believe I am is exactly the opposite.
Continue to identify these patterns and realize where these grooves are.
Look, a lot of people just live their lives without even going through this process. A lot of people are simply just far too satisfied, thinking they're Christians, thinking they have their act together, and not coming to terms with the choices they have to make in life.
Which one of you is king?
I passed it on the on the third time around. It's already going in spires, these wires. Normal coils, they just begin, go around, and stop where they began. But what I'm doing is I'm actually building a star, okay, which is real significant.
Before that, though, of course, I have to really state for the moment in time that, wow, we are here, and we are here unified. These outstretched hands are that sign of wholeness. It's the universal symbol that I won. That's the number one, I win, which is what moves, right? What moves the whole matrix in itself. So this is that universal symbol, and we celebrate this because we know that we're here in a tutelage. This is like an EverQuest. It's a journey that goes on for infinity, unless you want to die. And there's no such thing as death, so this could get very strange really fast, and that's what people have gotten themselves into.
So thank you so much for tuning in. Let's get started. So Kierkegaard began this account by equating the spirit with the self. But what is a self? He defines the self as a relation relating itself to itself. He wants to emphasize that the self is not just a self-relation, but also a dynamic and active process where the self constantly engages in self-relating. As human beings, we are engaged in self-relating processes all the time. Our choices, priorities, and interactions with others are all grounded in our self-perception.
You've had to confront the way that we lie to ourselves and hide it from ourselves and become one complete human being, or it's absolutely impossible for you to understand a song like this because you have opposing sides.
They took you, Nightman, and you don't belong to them. They left me in a world of darkness without your sexy hands, and I miss you, Nightman, so bad.
It's you, skate high, go away.
For judging, this man is right, this man is wrong.
Charlie, yeah, Charlie, we're going to Candy Mountain.
I'm living in a world of darkness.
Something missing in your soul.
Exploded like everything does when it sings to me.
Whoa! Whoa! The cavern is open.
Oh no! I don't want to do it. I can't take any more of this. You two, you're just horrible.
Charlie, listen to me. This is the most important thing we've ever needed you for. If you go into the cavern, we'll never bother you again.
Never.
We promise. It'll be the last you ever see of us, Charlie.
Okay, I'll go in.
Charlie, you're a dream machine.
Dream machine. Prepare to experience sexual magic.
Dayman. Oh, fighter of the night, man. Oh, champion of the sun.
Yay!
Oh, you're a master of karate and friendship for everyone. Dayman. Come on. Dayman.
Okay, who's next? Oh, hello. Well, this is embarrassing.
YOLO!
funny that how somewhat atypically I'm actually reading this like a work of metaphysics, and I'm sort of like, oh, well, you have this relation that exists in this impossible place between, the infinite and the finite, and there's no way to comprehend that reasonably. There's no way to understand how that's even possible except through God. And so that's what leads
Sounds like the Heideggerian influence here.
Right. And it's not just through God, it's through embracing the absurd, which is really what religious faith comes down to for him, that it's this personal relationship where you really can't do analyses. You can't do analyses of theological things. And a lot of, again, the stuff about Christian intellectualism that he was objecting to, like trying to make miracles sound plausible or trying to give sensible explanations for how Jesus could be both a God and a man, or how we could both be spirit and flesh. Like, no, these are just fundamental paradoxes that are supposed to kind of drive us to this kind of enlightenment.
Yeah, well, it's fascinating that I now come to understand that Kierkegaard's notion of the self is that the self is itself one of the fundamental paradoxes that you just described, and that you have to understand yourself as only being possible as an absurdity, or in the face of the absurd, just like spirit and flesh and those sorts of things. And that's why you need God. But that in itself is a fascinating concept, that the self is maybe the paradox. And that's interesting and new and unusual.
Mm-hmm. See, I did start realizing that for me, sometimes even watching, too much, even YouTube or other people's ideas and things like that do get a bit harmful. This is why I have a tendency not to just be trolling the chats. Yo, everybody, it's me again. Here's what I know. You know what I mean? And just let it flow, because I find that there's this perfect pattern when we rely on gnosis. You see what I mean?
To tell you the truth, though, I didn't make this coin. I'm not the electrical engineer. I am, we all know I'm the presenter today, okay? And I hate to say that I'm not the person who does all this stuff. Essentially, you, Charlie, and everyone else are going to have to be the ones who have to coax out of these inventions how to activate them, how to harness it.
And I think he says that it's so difficult that most people just don't bother.
Yeah, first you have to realize it. You have to start, acknowledging it as the first step.
Kierkegaard's 12 steps.
Well, it's a 3-step program,
exactly.
Right? Well, I mean, I'd like to think that the sickness unto death is intended, either ironically or sincerely, as a kind of self-help, right? I mean, the whole introduction to the book is, look, this is a kind of sickness of the spirit, and I am going to be the doctor who attempts to cure you. And just as a doctor is only going to explain the sickness to you in lay terms, because the doctor understands that you're not going to get the whole science of physiology, so he's only going to explain it as much as you, the patient, need to understand it.
So remember, all these things that are given are catalysts to your own gnosis, right? And when you think about them, like I've had times where I was only able to read a page, and I realized in many of those times, I was just told, just think about that one page, rather than continuing to go through the book and keep reading more and more. Just think about this one page. And this was very important for these funds and works that I'm going to show you today.
Morning, my friends. Let's have some fun with my kind of shit right here. Things that nobody at all would understand. You have to confront the way that we lie to ourselves and hide it from ourselves. It goes so far in here. The duality and the two crescent moons, the blue crescent moon and the red crescent moon, the scenery in the background representing duality. Oh, this is too good. I hope this video isn't banned worldwide.
zero was a foreign and frightening idea. An Eastern concept born in the Fertile Crescent a few centuries before the birth of Christ, zero not only evoked images of a primal void, it also had dangerous mathematical properties. With zero, there is the power to shatter the framework of logic.
I knew exactly where I was, and I knew the meaning of it all, and I knew distance to the sun. And I knew the echo that is love. And I knew the secrets in your spines. And I knew the emptiness of you. And I knew the solitude of heart. And I knew the murmurs of the soul. Drawn into your hands, and the world is etched upon your heart, and the world so hard to understand is the world you can't live without. And I knew the silence of the world, and I knew the silence of the world, and I knew the silence of the world, and I knew the silence of the world. Yes, I knew the silence of the world.
Charlie the unicorn, happy thoughts, best not to look around. Charlie the unicorn, now hold still while somebody stabs you in the gut. Everyone is smiling and I've got a frown, but why should I smile as they toss me around? I'm told the issue is inside my head, as they make a world that is withered and dead. Oh God, I'm getting the wrong kind of readings, Charlie. I said happy thoughts. This isn't gonna work if you're so angry. You're making the building shake and shouldn't do that. Happy thoughts, Charlie, come on.
Secure certain footing in known records and accounts, so that gradually, in the historic era, we become familiar with the positive and proven actions of men and vicissitudes of life and nature.
This is the opposite of irony makes the viewer feel smarter than they really are. No, Billy Corrigan is doing the mysteries, and they will end up in an ironic way, because who's ever going to understand that you need to be one complete person to even begin to grasp this at all? If you're not, you just wince at it and go, that's not me. No, that's the bad people and I'm the good people.